How we doing, everyone? Hope everyone is okay. Thought we'd do a live stream on all the news, but this one is going to be about Man United targeting Jack Grealish, Jadon Sancho, and Tielemans. I mean, if Man United get all these three, it would be incredible for Man United. Let's be honest, three great, young, talented players, but I'm not sure. I think it's all paper talk. So we're going to go straight into, obviously, discussing each player, their options, would they fit in Man United, and their budget-wise. But you know the drill. If you're watching this after or you're watching it live now, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, share, comment. I did state in my earlier video that the Buendia has got over 1,000 views. Unbelievable for us to get over 1,000 views, got to be honest. So really do appreciate that, and I hope all is well with everybody this beautiful day. So yeah, so straight away we're going to get into Jack Grealish is the first one that we're going to get into. So Jack Grealish. There's been a lot of talk about Jack Grealish, as we know. I mean, I remember watching him when he was a 15-year-old kid, and he was absolutely flying. And I thought, oh my God, this 15-year-old kid is just taking everyone on. But it took him a bit longer to kind of re-establish himself and everyone to talk about Jack Grealish. You know, he's probably 23, 24 before people started really buzzing about Jack Grealish. And he's always been phenomenal talent. Don't get me wrong. He's always been phenomenal talent. Before we carry on, just got to make sure I get everyone's messages on the screen and all the support. Love it. What's happening, Rayam? Good to see you. I'm all good. That guy, D, big up. Love the love. And Wilson, yeah, love the people. UFF, hope that you are staying safe and doing well. Appreciate all of the love. Appreciate it. He seemed a slow starter. He was very much so, that guy, D. He was. I remember watching him in the youth team, and he was taking everyone on, and he was unbelievable. But yeah, I think you don't get recognition really until you get in the Premier League, and he's been at Villa all his life. So I think that's why he wasn't so much a slow starter. He just didn't get recognition, and people didn't really trust him. I think that's what the issue when it came to Jack Grealish. Wilson, there is no way in hell that Arsenal will get Grealish because he's very expensive and the board does not operate like that. Yeah, there's no chance. He's not going to leave Villa to go to Arsenal. So going on Jack Grealish, which is the first person I'm going to talk about. Every man and his dog is probably going to want him. Have you noticed, though, no foreign clubs have spoke about Jack Grealish, only your Man Cities and your Man United, which a lot of the time I think would be paper talk. Now, Man City apparently 100 million. There's no way Jack Grealish is going for 100 million. Not a chance in heaven, especially now I've had COVID. I'm surprised anyone will go for 100 million, not even Kane. Maybe Haaland, maybe Chelsea. Man City, I don't think will pay that, but you never know. If they know that Chelsea are going to get Haaland, then Man City say we might need to step in and do something. But going to Jack Grealish, is he worth 100 million? I think he's probably worth 80 million at the moment in time. He's good. I'm not sure he's not a Foden. In my opinion, he's not a Foden. People rave about him, especially when he plays for England. But if you actually see him, he's not a world beater. And I just think a lot of hype is around him when he's at Villa because he's at Villa. If he was at another club, I think he would do well, don't get me wrong. But I think the hype is always around him because he's at Villa, because the Villa team is not a big team. Sometimes a player will leave one club, he'll go to a big club, and he's a small fish in a big pond, and all of a sudden things change. But so Man City apparently are going in for talks. Now, all the talk today is about Man United. All the talk today is about Man United going in for the Grealish, the Sancho and Tielemans. Man United, for me, would be a better option for Jack Grealish to go to. Let me just read a couple of comments because I don't want to miss any of them out. Rayan, same thing. I say Foden as you would for Grealish. He blew up at the right time. Yeah, I mean, Foden is different league. He's an English Iniesta, probably better because Iniesta was more deeper player, different types of players. Wilson Spot, I absolutely love the debate we had about Basuma and Neves. Yeah, you know, it's an Arsenal thing at the moment with Basuma and Neves. Some people want Basuma, some people want Neves. You know, that's why we have these beautiful conversations on here. Wilson, I believe that US is worth 80 million, to be honest. 100 price tag is absolutely mad. Yeah, I agree. I think 80 million absolute tops. Jamrock Gunners, good to speak to you earlier. Bless up, fam. Remember, you know, get back on it. And Wilson asked me a question. Who needs Grealish more, Man City or Man United? I think Man United need Grealish more than Man City. I've got to be honest. We won't get either. Yeah, we've got no chance. We're not getting any. But I think Man United need players. And that's why I can see Sancho looks like it's going to be a done deal, but we'll get on to that. So while we're still on Grealish, for me, I think Man United is a better for him. He needs to move now. He's been at Villa all his life. I think this is the window for him to move. He might wait and blow up in the Euros, and then all of a sudden his price tag's gone up. But for me, Villa are going to drag their heels in the ground, and I can't see him going unless a ridiculous offer comes in, or because he's been there as a kid, he goes and says, listen, it's time for me to move on now. But you know, they've signed Buendia because they're going to be pressing for Europe. They're going to press for Champions League football next year. Do they ask Jack Grealish? They're going to play on his emotional heartstrings. Do they ask him to give him one more season like Spurs did with Kane? And the way Kane's going at the minute, it doesn't look like he's going to get out, which is a mistake, I think, if you give that extra one more year. So Man United have gone in for Jack Grealish. I think it'll be a good signing for Man United. I think he brings them something very, very different for what they've already got. And for him, it'll be good for him in his career moving forward, and even more recognition, because forever while he's at Villa, he will not get that top recognition. So we will see. At the moment, there's only Man City and Man United reportedly in for him. I can't see Man City paying 80 million because they've got better players than him already in their team. So that is my quick take on Grealish. We then move on. Let's have a quick look at your anymore. So Rayan, with City's chairman in the hunt for a new first 11 players, I think he might go for the blue side of Manchester. Interesting. It's just whether they would pay. I mean, like you say, even though I've just said Man City don't really need him, they are having a huge clear out. So maybe he could be one of those, because they are going to have a huge clear out. You've seen the players that are going to leave. Bernardo Silva now is one that could be on the way. But it's all right saying you want to get rid of players, and it's all right players saying they want to leave. But for example, if you're on 200 grand a week at City and you can only get 100 grand a week at Bayern Munich, do you go? Some players would, a lot of players wouldn't. So it's all right saying you want to leave, but you've got to get another club who's going to pay that wages. Wilson, I'm very worried as an Arsenal fan right now. Look at Villa's midfield, man. Yeah, Villa, now they've got Buendia, they've got some players. They really have got some players. A lot of Villa people came into the commented about, honestly, the Buendia, and I've had some really good conversations with some Villa fans today. And you know, they're from the training ground, you know, they've brought about 40 kids over the last few seasons. They're really building for the future, and that's good to see. And just like that guy D was saying, Villa's midfield is decent. You don't forget about Traore as well. He's decent. You know, he's decent. So, yeah, interesting. We then go on to Sancho. Now, Sancho, there's only ever really been Man United been rumoured with Sancho. I mean, Man City, they got rid of him. They didn't think he was good enough. They don't want him back. They still don't think he's good enough to pay the money. You know, they've got a sell-on clause. It's reported that if they get 80 million, 11 million's got to go to Man City, which is part of business. They did have first refusal on him. They don't want him back. But for me, Sancho is perfect for Man United. I think he will really get the Man United fans buzzing. I think Man United fans will take to him very, very quickly. He's very quick. He's very skillful. He can do bits. And I think Man United do that. You look at Man United's team now, especially the right-sided. Man United's team, unless you throw Rashford out there or Greenwood can come in, there's not much happening. And Rashford at the moment is not been great for the past 12, 18 months. You know, situations, obviously, crowds, COVID, family, politics, whatever it may be. He's not firing on all cylinders. So Man United are screaming out for right-sided players. There's even talk of Kieran Trippier going to United as well. That's hotting up, and Arsenal are trying to step in on that one. So they really need the right side. Obviously, they've got Wan-Bissaka defensively solid, but if they can get Jadon Sancho in front of Wan-Bissaka, they've got a problem, because he's a huge outlet. Will he be as good in the Premier League as he is in Germany? I don't believe so. The standard of physicality it's more ruthless, the English game at times. German's hard, but you're playing for one of the best teams every week. Man United are one of the best teams, but they don't have it easy every week. It's a tough league. You know, away at Burnley on a Tuesday night, as we always say, you know, is Jadon Sancho going to be tearing someone up? That's what you got to ask yourself. But he's got all the ability in the world. We've seen what he does. 80 million is probably the price tag everyone's talking about, with 20 million add-ons. He's at that age. 80 million is probably about right for him, to be honest. Let's have a swig. 80 million is probably about right for him, to be honest. And I think Man United desperately need Sancho. Do they desperately need Grealish? Be a great fit, be a great signing, but I'm not sure they desperately need him. Chris Garvey's popped in. What's happening, Chris? Hope you are well, mate. He might be another Agbon Lahore. If he's a Villa fan and they spend this window, they might be enough to keep him there. Exactly. You might want to stay. You might not see it as, I don't have to go to a Man United, a Man City, a Chelsea, or a Liverpool to get recognition. He might see it that way. He does need to go. There's no doubt in my mind, because people do not take you serious unless you play for the big boys. They do not put you in a category unless you play for the big boys. But like you say, Agbon Lahore could have left many times. He was devastating at times, but he chose to stay there. Boyhood club. Will Jack Grealish do that as well? So I think if Jack Grealish wants to go to that next level, he's got to leave Villa. And from him, it's going to be a very, very hard decision. But at the moment, it's just rumours, as we know. There's going to be a lot of rumours flying around when it comes to players moving, especially around the Euros. So Jamrock Gunners has put, I'm seriously worried about our direction. He's on about Arsenal. We're not showing Augusto in the market. Our name isn't even in conversation for the bigger names anymore. Well, it's not going to be. Like I said in the video earlier, Jamrock, we're a mid-table team, you know, with a mid-table manager, with a mid-table mindset, which means you're going to have mid-table players. You're going to have to go with against Villas, against West Hams, against Evertons, against the Leeds to try and sign players. Days are gone where we can go and compete against the Cities, United. We got the second tier. We're going to have to go to the second tier of players. And don't get me wrong, there are some spectacular players out there, but like what Leicester did. But Leicester went even lower and did a tier 3 and a tier 4 type player. But your recruitment's got to be good, and Arsenal's it's not good. It's not been good for years. Wilson's put, I'm surprised that nobody else is in for Sancho other than Man United. I think what it is, a lot of teams look at Sancho and they say, yeah, he's good, but is he spectacular? Then a lot of right wingers. He's not. There's a lot of hype around him. You know, a lot of FIFA and there's a lot of hype around Jadon Sancho, but Man City basically said they don't want him back. They're quite happy to take that. Now, if he was that good, Man City would be trying everything to get him back, and they're not. You know, Sane was better than him, even though Sane's older. These types of players, and Man City said, well, no. And Man City got rid of Sane not long after as well. So a few years after. So interesting times when it comes to City and Sancho. But Sancho, I think, the only one at the moment, the only team that are in it at the moment are Man United, and they're the ones going to push the boat out to get him. That's going to be their marquee signing if they manage to get it over the line. And they desperately need a right winger. 100% need a right winger. Wilson, which club needs Tielemans the most and why? Right, I'm going to get on to Tielemans next, Wilson. So we'll come back to that one. Which centre-backs should Arsenal be going for? Quick one. Centre-backs. People are surprising me, but I do like Dunk at Brighton. You're going to think, hey, but he's English. He knows it. He scores goals. He's good in both boxes. But he needs someone better at the side of him. So we kind of need a world's beater of a centre-half, because we've got 4 bang-average centre-halves, 3. So, yeah, I'm not sure, you know. Rayan, Grealish decisions will be pretty hard. Get Villa into Europe and go down a legend, or sell out, according to fans, and win tons of trophies. Well, his career is going to be over in 5-6 years. That's how you got to look at it. 7 years max, 8 years. He's not going to be a Modric. So he's got to look at it like Kane. Kane's got 5 years left, if he's lucky, at the top level. And Grealish has probably got 5. What is he, 20, 25, 26? He's probably got 6-7 years tops. And not at the top, probably got 4 or 5 years at the top. So he's got to win as much as he can over the next 5-6 years. He hasn't got time to be worried about emotional strings, because once you're retired, you're retired. That's it. He needs to be winning things. So he needs to get out of there, in my opinion. Jamrock put Tielemans would fix our midfield beside Partey, but we have no chance of getting him. No chance. Never going to leave Leicester to come to Arsenal. And then second of all, he's going to have the likes of Liverpool. We'll get on to Tielemans. Man United, very, very strong favourites to obviously sign him. That guy D said, I'm still struggling to come to terms with the mid-table terms because I'm 42 and I've seen good days at the club. Well, yeah. Well, you're a year older than me. So all you've ever seen is everyone being envious of Arsenal a lot of the time. That's all you've ever seen. That's all you've ever seen. Success, Arsenal kits, people playing Arsenal, people saying Arsenal, Man United, Super Sunday, proper games, Keown, Van Nistelrooy, all this. And like Curtis said on this channel, it's becoming a little bit like a history channel because we're miles away from where we were. And it's quite sad. It is quite sad, that guy, D, got to tell you. Chris Garvey's put, is Tony good enough for Arsenal? 100%. 100%. 10 years ago? No, because 10 years ago, Arsenal were at a different level. So you think now Arsenal are a mid-table team. Unfortunately, we're the next pack. So you got your top four, and then we're fighting to get the next six down. So we're fighting in the next six below the top four. Yeah, we're fighting to try and be the top of that six, and we're not going to be the top of that six. West Ham, Everton, Spurs, Leeds now are gonna Villa. Are we better than all those teams? We're not. And those teams will be looking at Ivan Toney. So we've got to think to ourselves, he's going to be 35 million, expensive. But he's the record goal scorer in the league below. Now, if he was the record goal scorer in the league below La Liga, people would be saying, yeah, let's sign him. It's only because it's a championship and people think the championship is not a good level. It's a hard level. Grealish, Vardy, all these players are championship players. Vardy's was below League Two, conference. But what I'm saying is these players are all championship players and they come into the Prem and do the Prem with their team. So for me, he's going to go to somewhere, a West Ham, but Arsenal should be going for him. He's good with his feet. He's brave as anything. He brings people into play and he scores goals. What more do you want from a centre forward? And he's 24 years old. Like, it's crazy. People talking about Edouard for like 15, 20 million from Leicester. Plays for Celtic in the Scottish Premier League, where every game you're going to score goals. Like, I could still play for Celtic now. Probably. It's like, you can't compare this SPL to the Championship. Completely different. Championship's miles away, miles ahead than SPL. Celtic and Rangers would struggle in the Championship. We've had this debate, like many people. Celtic and Rangers would finish mid-table, top half in the Championship. I'm telling you now. So for me, definitely I'd go for him, Chris. I really would. Wilson's put, we cannot continue to turn our nose at Premier League proven players. Remember, Arsenal fans, we're turning up with those at Johnny Evans. Neves is a very good player, man. Yeah, what you've got to understand, Wilson, is it's a football snobbery thing that football clubs and fans think, well, we should be going for this player. You can't shop on that aisle no more. You got to shop on the next aisle. You know what I mean? We're not right at the TK Maxx bargains part yet, but we're in TK Maxx. So that's the reality. And the club needs to know that as well. And Edu needs to know that. And Arteta needs to know that. And that's where your skills come out as coaches and managers. Can this player fit into this puzzle? And can I develop him? Grealish and Kane made their life difficult by signing long-term contracts when they could have made the move. Yeah, thanks ever so much, Akil, for popping in. First time I've seen you and really do appreciate that. And yeah, when you sign long contracts, especially at clubs, you're tied in now. You do that because you want to secure your future. You want to secure your family. And on the flip side, sometimes you have a release clause in that. So if they have to stay, they have to stay. You've seen it with many players where they've signed contracts, they want to leave and they can't get out and they become a problem. But I don't see any of those becoming a problem. Jamrock's also said outtake and dunk last summer. Yeah, great backup centre off. And sometimes he's better than Rob Holding. Tielemans won't leave unless he's guaranteed a trophy on a yearly basis. He's much happier at Leicester than he will be at any other club since they're a big family. City would be the only draw, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, I think Man United would be a big one. It'd be very hard for him to turn Man United down when it biggest club in the world. We're one of the biggest clubs in the world. Akil, will Arteta be sacked if he finishes sixth and win no trophies next season? I don't think so. Maybe not. If they finish sixth, I can't see it. If they finish seventh, eighth, also for me, it depends how they play. That's what we got to look at. It depends how they play. Couple more comments. I'll then go into Tielemans and then we'll go back onto the comments. John Rott's put, it's the ability and ambition of these championship players that will set them apart in the Prem. Yes, their hunger is a very important one. We have got to go from world foods to 100% British. Yeah, you know what it is. Yeah. Oh, wow. Nearly 400 subscribers on your channel, and you're doing a great job at Forever Football. Listen, Wilson, it's all because of you people that have come in and you integrate and we interact with each other. And it's good for me being able to talk to you with my football knowledge, because it's been my life. I've played at a decent level. I've been an agent. I've been a scout. I've been everything. And this is a good way for me to put everything over to you. Even my wife's popped in because she's downstairs. Look, she's put amazing. Push subscribe, nearly everyone. 500 giveaway. Yeah, we are giving away. That's the wife, by the way. She's on YouTube. So if you want to subscribe to her channel, go over. At 500 subscribers, I'm going to give a Pro Direct voucher if you want boots, or you can have the cash instead. So up to £200. And then when we get to 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to get my hands on a PS5 for one of you lucky people. So that's just me to keep building and building, and we'll slowly get there. But I'll keep bringing content out, and we'll keep going, and we'll do whatever. Rayanne has put big up Miss FG. Yeah, she's downstairs, I think. So let's go on to Tielemans. Okay, and then we'll come back to some comments as well. Keep putting your comments in and we'll come back to them as well. So Tielemans for me is another golden find. At Monaco, not a lot of people spoke about him. You can see he has ability, but a lot of people were like, is he mobile enough? He's not quick enough. He's not exactly, doesn't put a lot of tackles in. But the more that you watch him, the way that he plays the game, he doesn't really need to do that, because Leicester have got it perfectly, where they've got Ndidi to obviously sweep up everything. And Tielemans is the one who can try and dictate play. And Leicester's perfect for him. Now, Tielemans in a Fulham would struggle. Tielemans in a Newcastle would struggle. You know, that's what he would do. Because, no, son, I'm just online, so you're going to have to go out, okay? You're going to have to. So off you go. Son's just popped in now. You're going to have to. So Tielemans, for me, would struggle in other teams. He's allowed to play football for Leicester, and it works perfectly. It works perfectly for Tielemans. And that's why, like you say, it's going to have to be a very, very big, enticing move for him to leave Leicester, because he's doing so well. He's like a golden child. And for me, I could understand. Now, the source comes from one of the Liverpool reporters in the Echo. He states that Tielemans is one of Liverpool's top targets. He also states that Man United have obviously caught wind, and they are going to go ahead with a 56 million for Tielemans. Now, me, that's goodbye. He's been one of the best players in the Premier League. He's still young. Technically, he's frightening. I mean, you've seen his goal in the FA Cup final. He's unbelievable when it comes to that. And a lot of people were snobbering because he wasn't mobile enough. He's not quick. He's got like that one pace, but he's an absolute baller. And Man United have obviously added him to their targets list. Now, don't get it wrong. Clubs, including Arsenal and clubs, they will have a list of players like this. Probably 10 to 15 players. And they'll have main targets, A targets, B targets, C targets. That's what they have. That's how they have the list. When we used to do scouting, we used to do that. I used to do that for clubs. And your A's are your ones where you are competing with the big boys, but you're hoping that they come to your club because they don't want to get lost in the sauce of a big club. Very rarely do you get them. Your B's, you get them if a bigger club don't go for your B's. And then you've got your C's. Now, with Man United, it looks like Sancho is an A. Grealish could just be rumours because of the Man City, and Tielemans could be rumours because of Liverpool. But that was the talk today, that Grealish, Sancho and Tielemans are the ones that Man United are going to go for. So we will see when it comes to that. I'm going to read a couple of comments. Wife saying that she might enter. She has enough. She's saying thanks to everyone who might subscribe. So, Rayan, FG, are you going to do England only watchovers for the Euros, or do the big games from groups to knockouts? Yeah, I think I'm going to do the bigger games. So I might even do the first game, which is Turkey, Italy. Italy are quietly going about business. They're on great run of form. And then your Germanys, your Portugals, obviously your Spains, the bigger ones. So not just England as well. I know, Rayan, your knowledge is unreal with a lot of the foreign players. So you can pop on and help me as well. So I might even get some people on and do the watch-alongs, because Euros can be at times boring. Some teams are very, very defensive when it comes to the Euros. But yeah, it's worth doing because it's good for everyone, because at the end of the day, there's other nationalities that might pop onto the channel, so we can take it from there. Jamrock Gunners put, our wealth of wingers rules out Sancho, but if you could splash the cash on Grealish or Tielemans, which would it be? For Arsenal, my honest opinion, for Arsenal, if I had to pick between Tielemans and Grealish, I would go for Tielemans. For Arsenal, because we have enough going forward, in my opinion. We have enough going forward, but we don't have enough creating just in behind. I'm not in behind, but midfield, we do not have enough create. Partey's our best midfielder, and he hardly creates anything. So Tielemans, I would go for, to be honest. Akil's put, Tielemans will be perfect at Liverpool, playing alongside Fabinho and Thiago. Henderson will help him develop further, and that's a very functional midfield with good quality. I mean, that would be phenomenal. However, would you say that Tielemans is similar to Thiago? As in, he's not as good as Thiago or experienced, but Thiago likes to get on the ball, likes to break lines. Would you say that Tielemans is probably a younger version or similar to Thiago? I mean, what do you think? That's just my opinion. What do you think? Akils, but he would struggle at United as they don't have a CDM in the mold of Ndidi or Fabinho. Yeah, he definitely needs someone to sweep up for him. That seems to be the thing now in modern day football. When I was playing, it was a 4-4-2. You had two doggers in the middle, two wingers. If it was on that side, this winger would come in. If it was on that side, this winger would come in. Then it started to go to a 4-3-3. Now we have like a 3-5-2. 4-2-3-1, the Christmas tree, etc., things like that. So definitely needs someone at the side of him. Now, would Fred be that guy at United? Would they put Fred in? Would McTominay be that guy at United? Interesting. Well, wouldn't mind that. Could be the Tesco's finest Chris Kamara for you. Yeah. Hey, Chris Kamara, mate. I know I've met him a few times. He's made a living. Chris Garber, when I watched Arsenal home and away for years in the late 70s and 80s, we had 100% British and Irish players. It felt like a proper club, like watching Posh today. Bring back the real Arsenal. Yeah, well, Chris, a lot of people in this chat, same age as my daughters and probably yours, your children, if you've got children. So it was only when the Premier League came in that we started seeing influx of foreign players. Remember, foreign managers, foreign players. It was a lot of the time, just British players. They did bring more quality in, but then that filtered down. So less people, less British kids made it as footballers. And that's still evident in today. So, but yeah, Posh, we're in the championship. We're in the championship now. Jamrock Gunners TV, he has put, I think Tielemans is like Thiago, but more advanced and involved in pocket play. Yeah, I think he is. He's not quick. Thiago's not quick. I mean, Thiago's an absolute baller, like ridiculous. And Tielemans, if he gets anywhere near Thiago or what Thiago has achieved, then he'll be absolutely buzzing. But he can do with Belgium. We know what Belgium about. This is Belgium's time to maybe win the Euros. If they don't win it now, I don't think they're going to win it for a long time, because they've had this talented squad now for about, 8 years, and they've not really done it yet. So, yeah, we'll see how he does in the Euros. Modern Arsenal players want the wages about putting in the shift. I think that's footballers in a whole. Football now has changed very much with regards to what you get. You had to graft. You had to really, really graft to be a footballer. You had to really, really graft to get in a starting 11, because the modern day game is very different now. It's not all about work rate. It's more tactical. You do get away with. You see a lot of players, and then they just don't work hard at all, and they're still playing and getting ridiculous money. Rounds, but if Tielemans goes to Liverpool, they'll play a three of Fabinho, Thiago, and Tielemans, or two DMs, one cam setup of Henderson, Fabinho. I mean, if he does go there, there's plenty of options. Is he going to start every week? Would he start every week at Man United? I think he's good enough to start every week anywhere but City, in my opinion. Now, if City, you think of City, which three they're going to play. If they got rid of Bernardo Silva and Tielemans, yeah, of course, he's good enough to pop on the ball. But he likes to go and get the ball from feet. He likes to dictate play. And I think for City's point of view, they're looking for a rebuild. They should go and buy these players. But what's interesting to me this year is because of the COVID, because of the pandemic, because at the end of the day, these clubs have, yes, they're billionaires, but they still lose money from what's going on. Are they willing to go out and snatch all these players for absolute fortunes? City are looking to rebuild. I think City are going to bring about 4 or 5 players in. They won't all be world beaters, but they'll be, because Pep and his coaching staff and his scouting staff, they can see a gem before anyone else sees him. And that's what Leicester have done ever so well. And what Villa have done is they've took a risk on players that have maybe had potential before and not quite done it. Obviously, they went for Ollie Watkins, only one to go for a championship centre forward. And I think Arsenal need to start looking at that. So as for Arsenal, we are miles behind when it comes to, you know, the Uniteds, the Cities, the Liverpools, the Chelseas, etc. And if Man United do get these, these three, Grealish, Sancho, and Tielemans, it would be an unbelievable window for them. For me, I know Man United fans are always moaning about X, Y, Z, and they finished they finished second in the league. Now the league has been poor this year. They'll do well to finish in the top 4, in my opinion, if they don't get the right players in. I just think Ollie got away with probably murder this year. Because I just think the rest of the Premier League was poor. So United got second place. But I don't think United, with this squad that they've got now and Ollie, I think they might struggle to get top 4 next year. But you don't know. You really, really don't know. It's been a strange season. Jan, which of these would be City's best match? Which of these would be City's best match for KDB? What do you mean? What do you mean, Jamrock? Ryan, it might be a hot take, but I feel Tielemans would excel as a false 9 with Pep's system. He doesn't need to be overly fast, but he just needs to be able to pass and occasionally shoot from will suit him. I mean, he would be good, but he does like to be deeper. So on the pitch, he does like to be deeper and get more involved. So it'd be interesting, yeah. But he has the ability. He has the ability. Daniel Ford, he's new. Everyone give him blessings and tell him welcome to, obviously, FFTV. Welcome, Daniel. Like you say, who do you support? Let me know who you support. Who's your team? And then we'll take it from there. Jamrock's already done it. Blessings for Daniel. Welcome, Daniel, to the community. Beginnings, but we're moving in the right direction. We are moving in the right direction. But yeah, Jamrock, just tell me, which of these would be City's best match for KDB? Tell me what you mean. Also, people who... Oh, here we are. There you are. Jack. Tielemans or Grealish in terms of playing alongside? Okay, so in terms of playing alongside for KDB and how City play. Well, KDB likes to get forward, doesn't he? He wants to dictate everything. He likes to come deep, but he doesn't come deep as much because he wants to be involved in the final third. And he's the best in the Premier League for me when it comes to being involved in the final third. He's absolutely unplayable. I think Tielemans would be better than Grealish for KDB. The reason is KDB likes to be the one who gets on the ball and dictates play. And Grealish likes to be the one to get on the ball and dictate play in the same areas. Tielemans, however, he likes to get on the ball and dictate, but from deeper. So I think Tielemans would be better for a City and a KDB. Round spot, even if he wants to drop deeper, he'll go from position of a 9 to a 10 if Pep allows an 8. I mean, Pep would make him an absolute world beater. Pep would make Tielemans an absolute world beater. Ryan, welcome, Daniel, to FFTV community. Welcome, Daniel. Yeah, Pep would make Tielemans a world beater. But where would he fit in? Would he play every week? You know what, though? You don't need legs when it comes to the City team. We've seen that. We've seen that City team. They don't. It's not like they've got legs all over. They're very good at working. Their hard work comes when they've got the ball. They do press. the old Barcelona way, 5-second rule. If you lose the ball, 5 seconds to get it back. If not, reshape. They do still do that, but not as often as they used to. So Tielemans would probably fit straight into, like you say, a City team. Jan Rock's put, are we then saying that Tielemans would be quality, the better signing, whoever got him? I think United, Grealish would be better for United, in my opinion, because United need that. They don't have that, do they? They do have Bruno Fernandes, but he's the only one. Like Pogba, for me, he's overrated, doesn't do enough. He's not consistent enough. Social media footballer, FIFA footballer, I call them, doesn't do enough. He's not good enough for me. Bruno Fernandes, we've seen what he's going to take his penalties away. He's still good, but take his penalties away. Not many people speak about him. Man United need Jack Grealish more than they do Tielemans. But City, they've got so much going forward. Depends if Sterling leaves and Mahrez leaves and Gabriel Jesus leaves and Aguero leaves. All of a sudden, City really, really need to get out and get some attacking players. So then they might say, well, let's go for Grealish, as well as KDB's already there. But I think that KDB and Jack Grealish will occupy the same areas of the pitch. So I don't know if that would work, if you know what I mean. That's why I think Tielemans might be better at City. But depends if City's sign going forward. Let's put it this way, City are not going to get rid of Sterling, Mahrez, Aguero, and Gabriel Jesus without having a Kane, a Haaland, an Mbappe or someone like that coming in. I just can't see it because they'll shoot themselves in the foot. No matter how good Pep is, they would shoot themselves in the foot if they did that. So I think Tielemans to City and Grealish to United would be better than any other way around. Daniel's a Man City fan. Welcome. Man City is my second favorite team, Daniel. I love Pep. I loved him when he was at Barca. I love the way he played. I took a kid on trial there for about 6 months. He ended up signing for them. He's not there no more. And I used to watch Pep, and I used to watch the first team train all the time at their training ground when it was first built. So, yeah, love City. Got to be honest, love City. Love Pep. Love City. Hakir's put at City, you'd be fighting for Gundogan's spot, I think, but Grealish would walk straight in on the left wing in place of Sterling. Yep, Grealish probably would be a regular starter for Pep. My only thing with Grealish is he would have to work a lot harder off the ball to be starting regular for Pep. A lot harder. At Villa, he doesn't really have to do it. Pep demands ridiculous work rate off the ball. And I'm not sure Jack's got that in his locker. But, you know, that's just my opinion. I agree with the fact that Pogba is overrated. I also think that Bruno is a bit inconsistent performance-wise. Pogba's definitely overrated. Social media footballer. Kids love him. They don't understand how average he is, in my opinion. I don't see what it brings. I really don't see what it brings. It doesn't bring anything spectacular for me. The odd trick, the odd shot. That's it. And Bruno, like you say, Bruno doesn't really take the game by the scruff of the neck like a De Bruyne. People were trying to compare the two. Bruno's nowhere near Kevin De Bruyne. Nowhere near. Nowhere near. Chris has put, we are all assuming Tielemans wants to leave. Yeah, exactly. He might not want to leave. Like I said, he's part of a family, isn't he? Leicester threw it away in the league in the last few games. He might want to stay and prove a point with Leicester. He might do. I mean, they love him there. He's really playing his best football he's ever played. He's getting recognition. They're going to have plans. Yes, I know they missed out on that top four. They're going to push to the next level. They'll be saying to him, you know, stay. You're going to be the main man. We're bringing this player in. We're bringing that player in. Give us one more year. And he might look at it and say, oh, see your contract out. Or he might get a new deal, because a lot of agents now will be saying that their players are putting stuff in the paper. Believe me, I did it with a couple of my players. I'll put a certain club is interested in a player. So his club at the moment will give him a deal, or another club will come in and get him better money. So it could be Tielemans' agent putting the stories out there to try and get him a better deal. That's how it works. That is how it works. Brilliant. Grealish at United can play anywhere from 7 to 8 and 10. Grealish at City will mainly be a 7. Yeah, he'll play more. He'll play more at Man United. He would definitely play more at Man United. That guy D was saying, I can't see him leaving this season, maybe a year or two. Yeah, I mean, all this talk at the moment, you're going to see hardly anyone leave, probably. Watch. It's just transfer talk. Happens every season, don't it? Where everyone gets excited, nothing happens. Imagine midfielder, Kante, Tielemans, and KDB. I mean, possibly that could be the best midfield in world football. Kante holding, Tielemans just in front a little bit, and KDB just roaming everywhere. I don't think you would get a better midfield. Unbelievable that midfield would be. Honestly, absolutely unbelievable. But what are your thoughts on these three going to United? Do you think, again, it's just media talk? Do you think the agents have put the stories out there? Or do you think Man United are very serious when it comes to, I know they're serious about Sancho. For me, I think Sancho's nearly done. A lot of people saying 80 plus 20 million add-ons. It looks like it's going to be nearly done. No one else is in for Sancho, so that really helps them at the moment. And they do desperately need a right winger. And he would be perfect for Man United. Absolutely perfect for Man United. So I think Sancho's probably nearly done. Exactly. That guy D is saying he think they'll only get Sancho. Yeah, I think they'll only get Sancho. I can't see Grealish going to United. I don't know how much he'd cost. Again, I think they'll be trying to ask for 80 million. He's their best player. He's been there all his life. He'll have some serious loyalty. He's a local lad. They just signed Buendia. They're going to be going for it. They're going to prove to him. Obviously, he's not going to win anything at Villa. That's how he needs to look at it. It's the Kane situation all over again. Certain clubs you're not going to look at. You're going to need to go and you need to win things. I mean, you look at Bale. He has no loyalty to no one, and he's won nearly everything. Like Kante, for example, when he came over, he could have stayed with Leicester, but the riches were too good, and the trophy cabinet was bare. So obviously he's gone, and he's winning everything since he came over to England. He's won everything. So I just think Grealish might be priced out. A lot of players are going to be priced out. For me, I think Kane's going to be priced out because that's a big one. Because Daniel Levy's not going to sell him for cheap, and it's who wants to pay that amount of money. Rand's put, with the way United treat Sancho, you'd have thought he was there for two years or so, 2 or so years. With the way United treat Sancho, you'd have thought he was there for 2. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. You know, I'm not honestly. And people say to me, "Fran, what are you on about?" So with me, because I played for so long, I look at football very different. I look at football from a footballer's point of view, and obviously that's very different from the way fans look at football, because the way fans look at football is different from the way footballers look at football. You have completely opposite opinions a lot of the time. So when we talk about certain players, for example, some YouTuber was saying that Kevin De Bruyne shouldn't have won the Players' Player of the Year. So I don't really normally get involved, but I put a comment and saying, how can you argue if the players have said he's the best player that they've played against? They played against him, like week in, week out. We had to do it, so you'd have to vote the best player in the league, and you played against him. So that means that he is the best player because the players are playing against him. But a fan won't look at that. A fan will look at stats, or a fan will look at, well, because they only see him when their team plays against them, or the highlights on Match of the Day. But when a player, all the players vote for a player's player, it means he's by far the best player. Like, it's a stupid thing to think anything different, in my opinion. But going to Sancho, I'm not fully convinced about him. As in, is he as good as everyone makes out? I mean, is he? I'm not fully convinced that he is Foden level. I'm not fully convinced that he is. Well, he's not. It's a different position from Mbappe. That just say Foden, because he's one side. Well, I don't think Sancho is better than Foden. Nowhere near. Nowhere near. And I think that's why City kept one and got rid of the other. But hey, it's all about opinions, and that's why we absolutely love this game. Jamal's put laugh out like, yeah, it's like Sancho is a United player out on loan. Yeah, it is, isn't it? It is. You know what I think with the Sancho bit? I've got to be honest. He must be sitting there thinking, do you really want me or not? Because this has been going on for so long. Like, if you really want a player, surely say, listen, we're doing everything to make you our number one target. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. The family's going to do this. We're going to do that for the family. We'll sort this out. Brothers, sisters, whatever. That's what clubs do. That's what clubs do. But like you say, it's like, we want him because he's good. He's a right winger, but we don't really want to make a fuss. And, do we want him? That's what it looks like to me when it comes to Sancho. Right, but Sancho is super technical, but can't be denied. But occasionally he does hide him. Yeah, I mean, technically he's ridiculous. Now, I remember, let's just look at this. Yeah, so Panther Bites 123, welcome. Say welcome to Panther Bites. He's put, why so little watching? You know what? We don't know. All the knowledge that I give you and the content, I do not know. However, we are growing. So you pop back whenever you're ready and I'm telling you now, in a year's time, we'll be blowing. We will be blowing. But yeah, we're just starting this community. That's why Panther Bites, we're just starting this community. But Rayan, going back to this comment here. Yeah, for me, he does his decision making, and he does go hiding. Technically, it's ridiculous. But a story about Sancho. So when I was an agent, I went to Watford, and there was talk about this kid. There was two of them, him and another kid called Dion something. So he went to see these kids. They were like 14 at the time, both at Watford. And the other kid, Dion, was actually bigger, and he was not as technically good as Sancho, but he was more. He had more of an effect on a game. He went on to play in the MLS. I think he's back in the UK now. And we tried to get Sancho on our books, but at the time, everyone was after him. Arsenal, I think he was with Base or Stella, or I can't remember, some big agent at the time. I remember watching him, I was saying, this kid can sort his right environment out and not get in trouble. He's got a chance, because he's ridiculous and obviously goes on and everyone talks about him. But I remember when he was 14, I remember going to watch him at Watford. And just before, not long, probably 2 years before he went to City, I think. And he technically is good, but like you say, we see so many players like that. Hudson-Odoi's like that. 1 minute can look world beater, next minute makes a bad decision. Hudson-Odoi's like that. Daniel Ford's put, I want Man City to buy Harry Kane. Yeah, I mean, he's crying out for that. Obviously, Panther Bites will put that in there. Welcome, Panther. Rayan saying, Panther, we're small, sadly, but strong community. Soon FG will be booming. Yeah, you're not wrong there. We'll be popping and booming soon. It's the knowledge, it's the content, it's the knowledge. There's a lot of people out there that just make videos and chat absolute nonsense just for views. We're building a community. That's what we're building. We're building a community from here. So we'll be booming. We're steadily going on. Snowball effect, compound effect, Panther Bites, compound effect. And you're a part of it now. So we appreciate it. Jamrots, because you all ain't sharing the stream, people. Like the live and share it. But welcome to one of the realest communities. Yeah, we're real in here. We're real. We talk about everything. Cheers, Panther Bites. So, Chris, it's early days for your YouTube channel. You need a gimmick like Hugh Wizzy, Fraud Gang. Yeah. You know what? We do need to start a community name for ourselves. We'll have to think about that. Throw your suggestions in, see we can build a little community game, and then a community and a name, the Fraud Gang. Yeah, Hugh Wizzy makes me laugh. He's absolutely off his head, isn't he? Absolutely off his head. Brent, I'm telling you, that shiny head of yours has golden knowledge in it. It's Eldorado. Yeah. Oh, mate, this shiny head, you're making me sweat now. You're making me sweat. Ashton, before there was Grealish, there was Coutinho. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. This is what I mean about football, yeah. Coutinho was unbelievable at Liverpool. Let's be honest, whether you like Liverpool or not, he was ridiculous. He's the best player in the Prem, right? Gets his move, goes to Barca. Completely different dynamics, completely different style of play. He's not the main man. He's not picking up the balls in the areas where he was for Liverpool. And all of a sudden, that's it. He's half the player that he was. Barcelona can't even get rid of him. Obviously, he goes Bayern and blah, 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 blah. But the dynamics of football, and what you must understand when you're watching football, is a player can be moved to a position 10 yards away from him, and he will look a completely different player. And that's what we have to take into consideration. Chris has put Shiny Barnet crew. The Shiny Barnet crew. I'll be the only one who's shining, I think, though. Everyone else is young. Man, Chris, you're not. You're the same age. I don't know if you've still got a full head. But yeah, we'll think of some names and start building our community. But yeah, I appreciate everyone coming in. Like you say, we've been on here for 50 minutes already, and it just flies by. It really does. Jamro's put, would you do a video about your football career, history, involvement? Might be a great reference point for new subscribers. Yeah, like you say, I could do that on one of the daily vibes, because the daily vibes is news or a subject or a topic that people would want to hear about. We could break it down into 3 things: what it was like to be a footballer, what I did to become a footballer, what it was like being an agent, what it was like being an opposition scout and working with clubs, what it's like being involved in football clubs. And like I was saying to Ray and a few others, next year, hopefully I'll be back on the radio with the championship. And so I'll be, vlogging each game that I do on the radio. So it gives you a little bit of an insight of the commentary, going to games, things like that. So we'll add that as well. And then also working on the pro vibes that me and Curtis have got. We're just working on maybe taking that to another level and getting a few people on the panel all in one place. So we'll keep growing. It's all about time, and all the people are busy doing their thing. But if you tell me what people want, insight, things like that, and I'm all up for that. I am all up for that. Round spot. Coutinho wasn't a perfect player, but once he left for Barca, we learned that the system accommodated him perfectly, and Barca's individual brilliance left him lost at times. Exactly. He was perfect at Liverpool, but he's going to go to Barcelona. Come on, you're not going to turn Barcelona down. But you've got to quickly adjust to the way that Barcelona play. Barcelona plays it's move in, move out, move in, move out consistently. It's genius the way that foreign team Barcelona played. Not so much now, but when he went there. Rayan's put FG, I would recommend making welcome video for your channel. I'm sure you have traffic coming in, but no introduction might make them hesitant to commit to you. I was thinking of doing like a trailer video. So just quite a professional video of me from a trailer, who I am, and welcoming everyone and why I do this YouTube channel. So I'm working on that. I think the trailer video will get people in, and we're growing, like you say, we're growing slowly. But it's all about the YouTube algorithms as well, and things like that. Like yesterday, the YouTube algorithm must have pressed a button on the Buen Dia video, because it's got over 1,000 views, which is, I've only got a few under over 1,000 views, and which was quite strange, really. But we will see. We will see how YouTube wants to treat us. Chris has put, will Posh allow to mention your channel when you co-commentating Posh games? I'm not sure. I'll have to check with obviously the radio, BBC, whether I can promote that. Hope so, because obviously, I'm going to try and get some people on it, whether it's Posh fans, Fulham fans, Forest fans, and get them on the GoPro and go from there. That'll really help. That'll be another part. Panther Bites has put, what do you think about Aubameyang? You know what? I was not surprised to see the little rumor about Tuchel maybe being interested in him. I'm just not sure how serious that is. Again, was it his agent putting it in there and jumping on, or the fact that they had a conversation after that game and everyone was taking pictures of them? I am not sure. It would be a good, I can understand why Chelsea would want him. But, are they going to give him $350 a week? What are Arsenal going to want for him? I just think it's paper talk, to be honest, Panther. I really do. John Watts put, that would make some great content in terms of fan point of view. Exactly. We're just trying to make it as diverse as possible. FFTV, Forever Football. It's football. Yes, we do have quite a bit of Arsenal content, but I cover watch-alongs, Man United, or City, Liverpool. I love football as a whole. So even when I bring, Peterborough, because my affiliation with Peterborough and doing the radio and things like that, it's just football as a whole. And that's why I like people's opinions. Because I think that's building it. We do have bias, but it's better when everyone's just out there and we can have good discussions. That's what I love about the community. Ashton's put, even with Griezmann, he looks a shadow of a player. He was, but when he plays for France, it's a different story. I mean, Griezmann for France is phenomenal. But again, I think the problem you have with Barca is you've got arguably the greatest player ever lived. The things that he does with the ball, Messi, right? And that was one of the reasons apparently Neymar left, because Neymar wants to be the big fish. You're never going to be the big fish with Messi. If Messi's in an area of the pitch that you want to go in, you're not going into it. So you're kind of holding your game back just because Messi's in there. So I think it's hard to go to a Barca if you're always wanting to get on the ball, because that's Messi's job. Darren's put, wow, if we get them, I'll be well happy. Yeah, so that's what I'm looking to do. But we need centre-back first. Listen, if United get these, then, like you say, it would be great. They've got Maguire, etc. I think they do need another centre-back. I've got to be honest. I think they do need another centre-back. But even if they got two of those in a centre-back, that would be phenomenal. Darren, absolutely phenomenal. Francis Green's a Poch legend. Yeah. Thanks for the kind words, Daz. Still can't believe that you support the Gooners. Laugh out loud. Yeah. I grew up. It was 1989. It was that match against Liverpool. Daniel's put, as an Arsenal fan, who would you like to sign? So, realistically, I would like to sign some of the best players in the world, but we've got to be real, and we're not. We're on the second shelf at the minute now. So I think Neves would be a good one. Who would I like to see us sign? Honestly, I would like to see us sign Ivan Toney, Neto. Neves would be a good one. Need a right back. I do need a right back. I'm not sure, but Ivan Toney for up front, and Neto, love Neto, and Neves, I'll be happy, and then we'd need some others, but that would be all right for me. Sorry, I missed this one. Ryan. Ryan's put, the trailer would be perfect for sure. Plus, your plans to expand content will go down well in the long run. Yeah, we'll keep expanding. We want to make it as many shows as we can, and make it so on a Monday night it's a podcast, and on a Tuesday, but then every day you still get a little snippets of videos and that, and then you watch alongs and whatever. At the end of the day, I'm trying to get something out every day, whether that's through Daily Vibe or whether that's through news or something, trying to get something out every day so you can learn from that. Even Rayan, we've spoke about, I've given you books to read that will help you, etc., and things like that. So yeah, Tony C, big up Tony C, thanks for popping in. Petit was another player that was never the same player when he left for Barca. Yeah. When you leave clubs, you have to fit perfectly. Because if you don't, it completely changes the way that you play. People think one player goes from one club to another and they're always good. I mean, how many players do you see and they go from one club to another and they get better and better? It doesn't happen a lot, does it? It might take them a while, but it doesn't happen a lot. And I just think players will move just for the club rather than looking at, do I fit into this team? Who am I going to play with? Who's going to be around me? When I moved, even though it was lower down, I never thought, well, how's he going to compliment me? I just believed in my own ability and went in there and thought it's going to be all right. And sometimes it's not. Darren put, I'll be on the show next Monday. Be sure to check it out. And at Red United TV. All right, I'll check it out. Check it out, people. Make sure you check Darren out. He's going to be on Red United TV. So any Man United fans, make sure you check him out. Jamrot's put, spot question. Does Kante deserve to win the Ballon d'Or? If not, who? I think people are going a bit too far with this Ballon d'Or biz. I've got to be honest. Don't get me wrong. He's fantastic. He is fantastic, right? The role that he does, the way that he is fantastic. However, is that Ballon d'Or we're talking about? Messi and Ronaldo have been kings on that. Neymar's, original Ronaldo, Modric, and is Kante that level? I mean, he's world class at his job, at what he does. But I'm not sure about Ballon d'Or. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Panther Bites, but can people sub to FFTV? And please, to me, if you sub to me, I will sub to you. Yeah, I'll come over. Yeah, we'll come over, mate. No doubt about that. We'll come over. Rounds for Arsenal is 0304 and 1600 posh wines. Arsenal now, the budget alcohol your uncle makes in the tub. that bungee inside. Yo, listen. There was a shop called Bargain Booze. I don't know if it's around. And there used to be bottles of Ooch, and they were like £1. That's where we're at. You had Smirnoff Ice, and then you had Ooch. And we can't afford the Smirnoff Ice. We're on Ooch now. Honestly, Ooch. Yeah, exactly. Cannavaro, you know, is Kante this level of players? He's sick. Don't get me wrong, but that's a tough question, you know. It's a tough question. Thanks for the follow back on Twitter as well, mate. I'm at Famous Munzi on Twitter. Yeah, if you're active on Twitter, people, obviously Daz has got an account. Go over and hit that as well. Limbless Villain has just popped in. This is what I love about YouTube. This is what I love about communities. We've got a Villa fan now. He probably checked out the Buendia video and put in his thoughts across. Really do appreciate it. Make sure everyone says a big welcome and a big up to obviously Limbless Villain. He's saying Grealish is going nowhere. Get over it. You know what? I agree. I don't think he is going to go anywhere. I really don't think he's going to go anywhere. Will City pay 100 million? Right, that's got the one I want from him. For me, it's overpriced. Great player, don't get me wrong. But I don't think it's 100 million. Will Man United pay 100 million? Doubt it very much with the conditions that we had. On the flip side of that, does Jack Grealish say, I need to leave my boyhood club where I'm an absolute hero to go and win trophies? And then how's that going to be for him as a player? And I've got to agree with Limbless Villain. I don't think he's going anywhere. I've got to be honest. I don't think he's going anywhere. Palmer's put rumors about Saha will go again. Yeah, we should have got him when we got him. Sometimes you can't keep going back. It's like going back to that ex-girlfriend that you go back, don't work, go back again, don't work. And then you finally realize that it's over and done with. So I think with Saha, it's not happening no more. We had a chance. We should have got him instead of Pepe. I still believe that, but we didn't, and I think it's over. Palmer Bites has put, don't mean any commercial things. I would just like a sub, sorry. All right. Yeah, listen, no problem. We support everyone on here. We support everyone. That's what it's about. We support everyone. We've already done that one with Cannavaro. Good example. Tony Watkins to Spurs if Kane goes. Ooh, that's interesting. Big welcome to Luke as well. Thanks for popping in. Really do appreciate it. Tony or Watkins to Spurs. Would be interesting. I wonder what Villa would want for Watkins. He's probably going to be worth another 10 million now, isn't he? So in theory, Tony would probably be cheaper. Tony's got to go to a big club. The problem is if I'm Tony, right, Brentford are going to want me to stay. But Brentford are going to go up. And like Pookie went up with Norwich, right? Pookie's awesome. Pookie went up with Norwich, got 5 goals or whatever it was, right? Yeah. If Ivan Toney goes up with Brentford, he's only probably going to get 10, 15 chances in the whole season. And then people will say, well, he wasn't good enough. Because you've got to look at the dynamics. So he needs to go to a team that's going to create chances for him. There's no point in going to a... let's have a look. Sheffield United gone down. West Brom gone down. Fulham gone down. For example, for me, there's no point in staying at Brentford. Will Brentford stay in the Premier League? They have a good backers. They have good budget. But will they stay in the Premier League? I think it'd be very, very good if they go stay in the Premier League. There's no point in Ivan Toney going to a Burnley. He needs to go where he's used to playing. When he was at Peterborough, everything was into feet, down the sides, bang, goal. He needs to go simply into Brentford. Everything's into feet, round the corner. He gets it out wide, gets in the box, bang, goal. If he goes to a team that don't put crosses in, what's the point? He also goes into the team that's just going to kick it over his head. What's the point? He has to go to the right team, Ivan Toney does. Spurs would be good. I'd love him at Arsenal. People would start judging him straight away. Got to give him a chance. Chris Garber, get rid of Kroenke, and it all starts to get better. Yeah, it starts from the top. I'm telling you that now. It starts from the top. Rounds per FG, been enjoying our combos on Twitter too. From life to footy, got to respect your ability to be so well rounded and multi-talented. Yeah, I've tried everything when it comes to football, and I try and improve as a person every day, learning from serious mistakes. And that's why this community is really good. It's excellent community, really is. Appreciate each and every one of you, and that's not just because we're small, even when we're big. Actions puts, what's your thoughts on individual awards? Golden Boot and Golden Glove are the only ones that make sense to me. Yeah, I get Golden Boot. He scored the most goals, job done, and I get the Golden Glove. But anything else than that, don't really get. I don't see the point in it because it creates a lot of selfishness. And talking about selfishness, I can't ignore the fact that Henderson the other day, when Dominic Calvert-Lewin got the penalty, was it Dominic? Yeah, it was, and he wanted to take the penalty, and he's never scored for England. You don't take penalties. He's been injured for 6 months, and because he wants to be on that plane because he's worried about injury, he took the ball and missed the penalty. That's selfishness, and that's in relation to individual awards at times. I believe in two, like you say, and nothing else really. Jack Rock Gunners has put Grealish should go win some trophies and then go back and finish his career at Villa. Yeah, listen, I don't think he's going to go. I really don't think he's going to go. But I can't see him winning anything with Villa. Villa have got a massive history, and I like Villa. I'm Midlands. I like Villa. And I've done since I was a kid. I'm not a massive fan of the kit. I've never been a massive fan of the kit. But as a club, Villa is spectacular. But are they going to win anything? And Jack Grealish needs to fix up and think, are they going to win anything? Yeah, big up the limbless Villa. Ashton's some love. Here's the legend. The legend's popped in. Curtis has popped in. Like and subscribe, everyone. Bro knows his football. Yeah. You need to stop being busy and get on the show. That's what you need to do, bro. Hope you're well, mate. Good show earlier as well. Popped in. Good stream as well earlier, mate. Good stream, Kurt. Grealish is going to win trophies at Villa. You know what? That would be unbelievable for him to win trophies with his hometown club. He would. Is he a legend already? Or if he leaves now, would he be a legend? I don't know. You tell me, limbless villain. Or would he have to win something to be a legend? Yeah, you tell me. Roll right. Another one popped in. What's happening? Hope you well. I'm the only one not that excited about Nevers. Hardly an upgrade on Xhaka. And there are so many better options available. You know, listen. He's better than Xhaka. He's better footballer than Xhaka. He moves the ball a lot better. And you say there's more. Who else would you go for? Roll right. What other options would you go for? Obviously already popped on Curtis's message. PFA Player of the Year should be given to the best player overall. So if a defender stabilizes his team and keeps them up, he wins. If a player's goals drag their team into overachieving, they win. Technically, yeah, that's how it should be, but it never is. The PFA Player of the Year, like it says, so you've got the players player, then you've got the football writers player, you've got the PFA player, etc., things like that. There's loads of different elements that go into picking the winner of those competitions, and it tends to be always normally one of the bigger names that wins that competition, because people don't really want to, go against the mold, should I say. Brown's put big up Curtis, David James Shaw. David James Shaw. Curtis is getting banter. Jamross put big up Curtis. I'm here because of him. Yeah. Curtis is my boy, man. Curtis, we're from the same city, rival areas. Curtis is younger than me, so we helped each other out on football journeys and things like that. So yeah, Curtis is top. Great content, great channel. I kind of got him into it by saying, go for it, don't worry about equipment, and he's blowing up. And then he's pulled me now and he said, wait a minute, you need to be getting into it and you need to be doing it as well, rather than give everyone else advice. So that's how we're here, and that's how the community works. So it's Papa Bites has put the same. FG, have you played international at any level? No. So 2006, 2005, I got called up for Jamaica, the camp. So as Curtis went to a camp as well. So I got called up for Jamaica for the camp. And I think Lincoln at the time, we was in the playoffs. I think we had the playoff final. I think we lost the playoff final at Millennium against Southend. And so we only had a short summer, and the camp is in the summer of pre-season. So when you come back, Jamaica had their camp. and I think it was Brown at the time was manager. So, you know, I've got the call, blah, 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 sorting out flights and that, thinking everything was all right. And Keith Alexander at the time just said, you're not going, and wouldn't allow me to go to the camp. And then we tried to figure something out. And when they came over to England, we was going to train a little bit, but it just didn't materialize. Yeah, just didn't materialize. And then also America. So I've got some blood American, and America were interested at the time as well. So no, England youth, played a couple of games for England youth, but not full international. What's happening? What is happening? Love 8KSE. What is happening? I ain't seen you for a while. I think you commented on a couple of videos yesterday, so I hope you're well, mate. Arsenal need a senior centre-back. Jose Font at Lille. What do you think? Yeah, they definitely need an experienced centre-back. We got to look at, like, for me, people were saying that Thiago Silva, oh, he's done, and that comes into Chelsea. He's been phenomenal. Rolls Royce. He knows the game. If you can bring a centre-half in who knows the game, give him a year. Give him 2 years to secure him if he comes from foreign for his family. And then get the young players around him, you know, then make Gabriella the next then leader. But good point. Good point. Lemless Villains put, best God-given I've ever seen at the Villa, but we need to win something to become a proper club legend. Still have his name in our illustrious history. Love the non-bitchy analysis, by the way. Yeah, listen, good football is good football. I appreciate football. It's been in my life. I've played it at a decent level. I love football, and I always put my hands and my honest opinions. And Jack Grealish, for me, is a phenomenal player. And like I say, talent-wise, I remember seeing him in the youth team. Who else was in the youth team when I was there? Not when I was there. When I went to see him and I was scouting. A young Asian kid called Issa. I think he was centre off. I think he left in the end, but he did play. I think he played one first team game at Villa. Anyway, and it was just a breeze in the park for him at youth level. And I'm surprised it took him that long to be established in the Villa team. But he's an exceptional talent. Exceptional talent. He really is. And appreciate the kind words about non-bitchy. Yeah, you've got to be honest. There's no point. You know, you've got to be honest when it comes to football. Some people attach, and I get it, their emotions to football. Come detached from your emotions. Look at the facts. Look at the reality, and be honest with yourself when it comes to anything. But if we're talking about senior centre-backs, Martinez from La Liga, he can distribute the ball, so he can be a left-sided Luis. Yeah, I've not, got to be honest, don't know a lot about him. Really don't. As you know, I know you watch a lot of the European football as well, Rayan. So, yeah, I don't know a lot about him, but would he be able to adapt to, because obviously the pace is very different to the Premier League. Technically, the Spanish league is a lot better, but the pace-wise is very different, as in behind. Love it, football sport. All good, brother. Hope you and the family are good. Yeah, blessings. My family are blessings. Thank you. Thank you. Roll right. Not saying he isn't an upgrade on Xhaka. He clearly is, and Prem proven. But is the midfield to help take us to the next level? Would have Basuma or Locatelli any day of the week. Okay, you know, there's this big argument with Basuma. And I was saying, is he similar to Partey? But Rayan and a few other people were saying Partey is kind of a box-to-box, and Basuma would hold a little bit deeper. So they got a good point there. But then who's going to be the passer from deep? Partey sometimes can't pass water. So that's my only concern. If you had Basuma and Partey, even though Partey's box to box, then you got Basuma. Who's then going to be the link? Who's then going to be the one who tries to dictate play? That's my only issue with that. Should teams be quick to act on the French market? The French market's unreal. The third division in France, you go and have a look. There's some absolute ballers. There's a massive African contingent, as you know. French. A lot of African countries are French owned, and they go to France, asylum seekers and refugees, etc. And some of their talent is, and they're built perfectly for the Premier League, because the Premier League can be physical at times, but technically very good. And that's why I remember Arsene Wenger was saying at one stage, he was saying that he can get an African player because they're built for the Premier League, and he can create a player. What he can't do is get a player who's not built for the Premier League, who's a player, but then physically change him. You can't do that. So he was saying that African players are perfect for the Premier League. And if you go to the French, any of the French leagues, there's some top players. There really is. It really is. And Arsenal should be on that. A club like Arsenal should be on that, especially when we had Wenger. Madness. Jamrock Gunners put, I used to be blind Arsenal fan, just supporting regardless, but now I'm looking honestly at the state of things. Cronky out. Yeah, you've got to look at it and digest the way that the club is and the reality of where we are at the moment. And the owners not going nowhere. I don't think no fans have ever got rid of owners, maybe in Russia or Argentina, where they want to threaten, assassinate their owners. But in England, we don't roll like that. So how are you going to get rid of owners? We can't. So we have to somehow make the best of what we have, in my opinion. But Partey's so bad at times that he can't even pass gas. Listen, a lot of people stick up for Partey, and I've got to, like Curtis was saying, when me and Curtis were saying, he does get left exposed because he doesn't have that security around him, and he's being asked to do a job that he didn't really have to do at Atletico. I get that. But sometimes the simplest passes, I'm talking 10 yards, 15 yards, he's overwritten them, he kicks them out of play, and that could just be a confidence thing. Been there, we've all been there at some part of our life. Confidence is a huge thing. So Brown's put, you can coach an athlete, but you can't build an athlete out of technician, something like that. I butchered the quote though. Yeah, it is. That's what he's saying. You can coach an athlete, or basically you can make a player out of an athlete, but you can't make an athlete out of a player, basically, or something like that. I think we've overcomplicated it, Rayan. We know Arsenal should be acting quicker, but most recently they have let previous targets go to Leicester, i.e. Eduardo, Samore. Both are Arsenal cheap. You see, the thing is, you say that. You say both let them go. Those players, if Arsenal and Leicester come in for them, you don't blame them for going for Leicester, do you? The vision and what Leicester have done over the last 5 years, let's be honest, you're going Leicester, aren't you? Excuse me, you're going Leicester. And we need to understand, we can't just bowl up and say, by the way, we've got Alexis Sanchez, Henry, Bergkamp in the back. Do you want to play for us? You can't do that no more. So we have to really sell this club. And I think Edu and Arteta, it ain't the one. It ain't the one. You need to get Henry coaching, or you need to get Bergkamp in the place, or you need to get Vieira, head technical director. Not Edu. Not Edu. Come on. No. Not having it. Another message from Luke. Recent subscriber. Love your content, mate. Enjoyed listening to you when you commentated on Posh, and well done. Big up. Really do appreciate the kind words. And hopefully I am back on the radio next season in the Championship, which will be good. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Jamrock Gunners support. Our message Turkish, but it got lost in the shuffle. The USA Gunners need to help and make KSC face bad PR in the US, not just England. Just keep on it then, Jamrock. Keep on Turkish. Keep messaging him. Keep messaging him. Brown's put, Buendia's camp reportedly closed Villa because of the owner's ambitions over us. Exactly. Does not surprise me at all. Does not surprise me. I was on about yesterday. You think you got Villa phoning you. By the way, we bopped Arsenal twice. We're keeping Jack Grealish. We've got Traore. We've got Ollie Watkins. We've got McGinn. We're going forward. We want to add you. We want you to be a star of our thing. We want going to head for Europe. We're putting the money in. This is what the owner's putting in. This is where we're going. Arteta. We're rebuilding. You'll play, but who you're going to play with? You got Partey. You got ESR. That don't excite you, does it? It don't excite you. And then I'm bringing, I'm trying to get Kieran Trippier, but I don't think he's going to come. We're Arsenal, Who are you going to go for? Who are you going to go for? Without being biased, you're going to go for Villa. You're going to go for Leicester's. To be honest, you're going to go for a Spurs. You're going to go for a West Ham at the minute. Because even if Arsenal had the players, right? No, so even if Arsenal didn't have the players, but there was still the Arsenal of old, say they just had a bad season, players are coming. That's not the case. You look at Arsenal, you think they're in decline. Why am I going to go there? This could ruin my next step in my career. I want to play international football. How am I going to go to Arsenal? You don't think that when you go Villa. You think, well, Villa are moving in the right direction. You think Leicester won the Prem. Leicester are going in the right directions. The owners are doing this. Villa owners are doing that. West Ham now. David Moyes is flying. He's getting foreign players. Souček comes from nowhere. These teams are ahead of Arsenal when it comes to recruiting now. Serious. That guy D's put, late everyone, I've got to duck out. Enjoy your evening, people. Really appreciate you popping in. Really appreciate you popping in, that guy D. You take care, be safe. We're nearly done anyway soon. We're going to wrap it up. Jamrot's put, don't forget how Martinez has chipped. Yeah, his best mates apparently. So one of the Villa fans was telling me that they're family friends. That's why you got to be careful when you deal with players, because they might turn around and bite you in your backside. Did you see the report that Edu fumbled the negotiations and Bueno bagged over pennies? Probably said, you know what, I don't want to give you an extra two grand a week. I don't want to give Norwich this. You should be happy. We're Arsenal. That's probably the attitude that they went in. And they said, you know what? Yeah, bun that. David Ward, Villa fan here. Welcome, David. Really do appreciate it. Say welcome, everyone. Anyone that's still in the chat, make sure you say welcome to David. David has put Villa fan here. Let's see how next season goes. But I think we've definitely nicked him from out of Arsenal's arms, just like Martinez. Arsenal, sadly, I think, are in the wilderness. You could not have said it any better. You could not have said it any better. Dave, got to be honest. Martinez has obviously made a huge sway in this, but they've just sold in the club more. They've sold in the vision more, and it tells you the state of what Arsenal are in. And fair play to Villa. Fair play to Villa. Love it. KSE's put, okay, Spurs went a step too far. West Ham, Leicester, I'll allow you, but not the Spuds. Come on, man. You got to get rid of that emotion. I'm telling you. They're ahead of us. They finished ahead of us the last 5 seasons. The budget's more than us. They go for managers, even though the Conte thing didn't work out. He was a little bit too much. But they're going for managers who are going to take them to the next level. Come on. Jones put, the mighty have fallen. We can't sign any players listed on screen. It's a real embarrassment. I know. Look at these 3 players on the screen, everyone. Grealish, Sancho, Tielemans. You know, 10 years ago, we would have signed all 3 of them just by giving them 1 phone call. Not no more. Not no more. Luke's put, feel like the difference between Arsenal and those clubs that you mentioned is that boards back their managers. 100%. They back their managers. They understand that you need to back the captain of your ship. You need to give him the funds, and then it's up to him to do what he wishes with those funds. And if it fails, he has to take accountability. But if you don't do that in the first place, how are you going to be successful? How are you going to be successful? I just don't get the model. Ryan's put, Edu to anyone we want to sign. I'm an invincible. Come for the vibes, my bro. Exactly. Yo, I'm an invincible, you know. I'm pals with Henry, you know. Burkham. Come roll with me in it. I'll get you something. No. You're thinking, what? This is a new generation of footballers. They don't care. Ryan's put, welcome to the FFTV community, Dave. Enjoy the realist community on the web. That's one thing that we are. We are real. We'll give you an insight to what it was behind the football scenes that a lot of people don't talk about. So, where are we here now? Last few comments. Let's have a look. A declining Wenger has more pull than Arizo's Edu, Arteta. 100%. 100%. 100%. You're signing for Wenger. You're signing. Glad to be part of this community. Great content, friend. One love from Jamaica. All good. One love from Jamaica, mate. That's my roots. So all the love, all the love. Right. I've been on here an hour and a half. Everyone, unbelievable. Love it. Love the community. Love everyone talking about the football. I hope that has made your evening. It's 8:30 now. Make sure you get your sleep. Make sure you get the water on. Really do appreciate it. And I will let you know. Make sure your notifications off. If you've watched this and you've not already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure your notifications are on so you don't miss when we're going to go live, because I think live is very important for us. David's put, cheers, just subbed. Good luck, Arsenal, but up the Villa. He's got to get that one in. Cheers, Dave. Reynolds put, have a best evening, FG. Take care. Yeah, you take care, everyone. Really do appreciate it. And I will see you on the next video. See you later.